Hey everyone, this is a clip from a recent episode of Another Pass, where we talk about movies and all the struggles that go into making them. If you like it, check out the whole podcast. You can find it at certainpov.com or wherever you get your podcasts.
Oh, there were a couple of things that she did where I was just like, she dropped the knife next to his hand and steps away from
multiple
him.
times.
Oh, like I wanted to murder her. It was just dumb. But I think that's what's great about Friday the 13th Part 4 with Corey Feldman. I'm sure that, not to bring in a different franchise, but have you seen that one?
No, not at all.
Of course you haven't, Sam. I've known you for 5 minutes. I'm like, no,
maybe in my teens, I don't really remember it that well.
Well, spoiler alert. I don't know. Do we talk about endings?
Yeah.
Friday the 13th had a very similar franchise situation where it's like this seemingly indestructible, immortal villain who just keeps getting resurrected in different each movie. And it becomes almost supernatural at some point. I think it gets very supernatural on the Friday the 13th.
He literally goes to hell at one point and then becomes empowered by Satan. And then eventually becomes a robot.
So, it's kind of stupid, right? But the frustration to see this guy continually coming back, it's like, if you've killed him and you think you've killed him, you probably haven't killed him. Kill him harder, And so Friday the 13th Part 4, Corey Feldman just murders Jason, and stabs him probably 1,000 times. It's delicious. It's delightful. And it's like, thank you, Corey. Thank you. Kill him, please. Yeah. So there were a couple of times where she dropped the knife right next to his hand. And I'm like, Lori, you deserve to die.
Yeah. Like you stabbed him in ways that wouldn't automatically kill a person anyway. You can't just assume he's dead.
The crochet needle in the neck, that's unless you get the right vein, that's not going to kill him, and it probably wouldn't kill him unless he took it out,
or at least check to make sure, pull the mask off and see what's going to happen. But no, that's. But the thing is, like you were saying, this movie is foundational for those tropes. So I'm curious where. I mean, obviously, if you were actually in a situation like this, you would want to make sure that they're dead. But, audiences weren't necessarily primed to be like, oh, this killer is just going to keep on coming.
Yeah. That's why when he stood up behind her, it remains lump in the throat, terrorizing feeling. It when I watched it again just 2 nights ago, I haven't seen it in years and years, at least 15, 20 years. I immediately went back to that feeling of that. It was instant, that feeling of being in the theater and just seeing him stand up and the shock and terror that we all collectively felt at once. And then to just be in that movie going experience, it's electrifying. And that's why live theater will always exist, because you can watch anything at home, but when the energy that is created by an audience is something that you can't generate by yourself. It's just you want to be with other people and experience it, and it's just seeing him stand up, terrifying.
Yeah, that sounds like an awesome experience that like I said, it was already well established by the time I was cognizant of movies. So I don't know if horror movies will ever get to that place again, because every now and then there will be that big flash in the pan, the Paranormal Activity, or before that there was Blair Witch, where it's all of a sudden it's oh, this movie's so scary, if go see it. And horror movies are often cheap also, so there's a lot of incentive to get them into theaters and make a lot of money on them, because there's a lot of return on investment. But there's only so far you can push it while still being a movie, and so once you've crossed the threshold of okay, this is the suspenseful, scary slasher man is coming for you kind of movie. I don't know how much further you can take it besides having creative kills that is going to be really that scary for an audience, beyond just knowing that here's the rules of the trope. And this movie is pre all the tropes being established, pre the genre being really defined. In fact, this is sort of the thing that does create the genre for real, because there are movies that precede it. There's Psycho, famously. There's Texas Chainsaw Massacre.
Oh, I saw that at a drive-in. Also frightening. I don't know how. I should have PTSD from all these movies I saw as a kid.
I feel like a drive-in is even a worse experience for those kind of things because you're like just kind of sitting in your car focused on a thing as with everyone, and like who's walking up behind your car, you don't know.
Yeah.
Like at least in a movie theater you're surrounded by people who theoretically are all in it with you.
And there are walls. I think the walls are the most important part for me. Like, cars are very not secure comparative to actual place with walls.
Remember, if you like that clip, check out the podcast. You can find it at certainpov.com or wherever you get your podcasts.